Okay. So last class we have discussed the basic arithmetic functions such as ABS, then complex function we have discussed, then how to find the real and imaginary part also we have discussed, isn't it? So today we will discuss some other basic concepts, okay, regarding the second experiment. So this, you can see my command window here. So in the command window, first of all, I am typing, clear the screen, just to clear my screen. Okay, so I am typing 2.15 E minus 3, minus 3. Okay, 2.15 E minus 3. Okay, you can see. So 2.5 E minus 3 is just 2.15 into 10 to the power minus 3. That's the meaning. 2.15 E raised to minus 3 or E minus 3. The meaning is that 2.15 into 10 to the power minus 3. So if you press enter, your answer will be displayed. This is 2.15 into 10 to the power minus 3. So please understand that 2.15 E minus 3 means 2.15 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay. So next I will discuss about, last class I have discussed about ABS. ABS of minus 3 will be 3. Okay. ABS of minus 2 will be 2. This function we have already seen. Okay. Now using an ABS function, you can plot a graph. Okay, just putting the y-axis and x-axis, y equal to ABS of x. Here, for plotting any graph, you need both the axes, isn't it? You need to first define x-axis and then you need to define the y-axis, isn't it? So, x-axis, first of all, I have defined my x-axis as x equal to minus 3 colon 0.1 colon 3. What is the meaning of minus 3 colon 0.1 colon 3? I have just defined my x. That is, the starting value is minus 3. This is an array. This square bracket indicates that this is an array. Okay, so starting value is minus 3. Then the ending value will be 3. And what is the increment? Increment will be 0.1. Okay, so x equal to the starting value will be minus 3. The increment will be 0.1. The end value will be 3. So x varies from minus 3 to 3. Okay, now you are plotting y. Y equal to, you just type ABS of x. That means you are finding the absolute value of x. Absolute value means for any negative integers, if you are taking ABS of x, that will fetch you the positive result, isn't it? ABS of minus 3 will give you 3. ABS of minus 3.2 will give you 3.2, like that. Okay, so whatever you are doing inside this ABS of x means you will get the positive values only. So that positive values you assign it to y. So if x is minus 2.9, y will be 2.9. If x is minus 1.5, y will be 1.5, like that. Okay, so y I have defined as y equal to ABS of x. Okay, you put a semicolon for all these statements. Okay, why you are putting a semicolon? You don't want the result to be displayed on the command window. If you don't want the result to be displayed on the command window, you put a semicolon. Otherwise, no need to put a semicolon. If you want the command to be displayed on the command window, you need not put a semicolon. Okay, if you don't want to display some intermediary values, you need not put you put a semicolon here. Understood? Now plot of x comma y. So here you have defined x and you have defined y. So don't interchange these x and y, because this is the x-axis and this argument is the y-axis. Okay, so plot not y comma x. It should be x-axis comma y-axis. It should be like that. Otherwise, it will fetch you some other result. Okay, so plot of x comma y, x-axis comma y-axis. Then x label of, you are labeling your plot. Once you are plotting a graph, you should label it properly. So x label of x, y label of y. So since you are doing this in an M file, you should use the CLC, clear window, clear all, and close all. That is understood. CLC, then clear all, then close all. You should do this. Whenever you are beginning up, you are about to begin a program, you should type these three commands: CLC, clear all, and close all. Okay, now you type X and Y, then plot of X comma Y, then you properly label it. Okay, X label and Y label. Okay, now a title also should be there. So just for your all these things we have discussed, title, just ABS plot, absolute plot. Just I am giving a title for this particular graph. Okay, these things we have discussed in the last class. Okay, now you run. So when you run this, you will get a figure window like this. What does this represent? Here you can see I have defined my x-axis as -3 to 3. You can define your x-axis as you wish. Okay, so you can define your x-axis as you wish. It need not be -3 to 3. You can define it from -5 to 5, whatever you want. Okay, so -3 to 3, I have defined my x-axis, and for the all the positive values, so that means 0 to 3 values. Okay, I am getting positive values only. From for 0, what will be my y? My y will be 0. For value 1, my y value will be 1. For value 2, my y value will be 2. For -1, for x equal to -1, what is my y axis? Y value will be 1, positive 1. For -2, what will be by y axis? It will be 2. For -3, it will be, the value will be 3, like that. So for all the values will be, you are getting a value of positive integers only. So for -3, the value will be 3. For -2, the value will be 2, like that. So it is taking the absolute value. So you will get a graph like this. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, if you want to plot, one second. Okay, if you want to plot the reverse or the mirror image of this plotting or absolute plot, you can just create minus of ABS of X. You can try all these things. Okay, X equal to -3 colon 0.1 colon 3, Y equal to minus of ABS of X, plot of X comma Y, then you are labeling it X label and Y label. So what you can do, you are just taking the minus value of ABS of that. That means for positive integers, you will be getting negative values, and for negative integers, you will be getting negative values, isn't it? For x equal to -3, so suppose x is equal to -3. Okay, x equal to -3, ABS of -3 will be 3. Then y will be minus of ABS of x. That will be y equal to minus of 3, isn't it? So you will get the result as -3. That will be a negative value. Suppose x is a positive value, x equal to 3. What will be your answer? ABS of 3 will be 3. Minus of ABS of x will be -3. Again, you will be getting minus value. For all the values, you will be getting a minus values only. So that is just an image of this ABS of x will be minus ABS of x, isn't it? Okay, so we will plot like that. If you run this, you will get a plot like this. So here you can see the reverse of this happened. Okay, the reverse of ABS plot will be minus of ABS of x. Okay. So now you can plot these two graphs in one single window. Now you can plot these two graphs in one single window. So how can I say plot in a single graph? You just define your x, then you just define y equal to ABS of x, then plot. After plot, you type hold on. Okay, after plot, you type hold on. Okay, next, take the other function y equal to minus of ABS of x, then plot of x comma y. Next, you put hold off. Hold on and hold off. Okay, next X label and Y label. Okay, after plotting function, you put hold on, and after the next plot, you put hold off. That's all. This also you have seen in the last class. When I run this, you will get the combination of these two graphs on the same window. So this will be the blue color line you can see. The blue color will be your ABS of x, and the red color will be your ABS of minus x. I hope this is clear. Okay, now let me take okay, you can see a graphical plot here, a Cartesian plane you can see here, and here a point is marked. Okay, here a point is marked as this. What is this point? This is the 0th point, 0, 0, and this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So this point will be 3, and this y-axis is 0, 1, 2. So what will be this particular point? This particular point will be 3, 2. So in this particular plane, this red colored point will be 3, 2. Okay, now you are going to represent this as a vector or a complex number. So what do you mean by a complex number? It can be expressed as 3, this 3, 2 is the point. So 3 plus 2j or 3 plus 2i, isn't it? 3 plus 2i. So 3 will be your real part and 2 will be your imaginary part. Okay, now if you want to take the absolute value or magnitude value of this particular complex number, so what is the complex number? 3 plus 2i is the complex number, and if you want to take the magnitude of the complex number, so what do you mean by magnitude of a complex number? Magnitude of the complex number means it is the distance from the origin. Which is the origin? 0, 0 is the origin, isn't it? This will be the origin. So from this origin, what is the distance of this particular vector or this particular number? Okay, so what will be the distance from the origin? That is the magnitude. Okay, so let me explain this. The magnitude of a complex number is its distance from the origin in the complex plane. Okay, what is the distance from the origin in the complex plane? That is the magnitude of a complex number. How can you calculate the distance between 2 points in the Cartesian plane? How can you calculate the distance between 2 points? The distance between any 2 points will be root of x2 minus x1. Suppose one point is x1, y1, the other point is x2, y2. How can you calculate the distance between those 2 points? X2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. And you take a square root. Okay, that will give you the distance between those 2 points. Okay, and if you find that here in our case 3 plus 2y is a complex number, and you are taking the distance from the origin, isn't it? You are taking the distance from the origin. So if you want to take the distance from origin, the x1, y1, what will be the value of x1, y1? So the value of x1, y1 will be 0, 0. Isn't it? So the x1 will be 0, y1 will be 0, because one point is 0, 0, because you are taking the distance from the origin, isn't it? So one point will be x1, y1, that will be 0, 0. So x1 will be 0, y1 will be 0. So what will be the distance? The distance is reduced to root of x square plus y square. In our case, 3 plus 2y. What is x? X value will be 3 and y value will be 2. Isn't it? So 3 plus 2y. What will be the magnitude of this particular complex number? I'm talking about the magnitude. What will be the magnitude? Square root of 3 square plus 2 square will be the magnitude. The square root of 3 square plus 2 square will be the magnitude of this particular complex number. So that is the distance or magnitude. Okay. And now one more thing I want to explain. What is the angle? Right now I have told you about the magnitude. What is the angle of this particular vector? Or what do you mean by angle of a vector? Angle of a vector means the angle it makes with the x-plane or x-axis, isn't it? The angle the vector makes with the x-axis, say theta. Okay, so how can you find the angle? Theta will be tan inverse of y by x. Here what is y? Y will be 2 and x will be 3. Okay, so tan inverse, so the angle the vector is making with the x-axis will be tan inverse of y by x. What is y? 2 will be your y component and 3 will be your x component. So tan inverse of 2 by 3 will be your answer. That is your angle. So what is the magnitude? Magnitude will be root of 3 square plus 2 square. And what will be the angle? The angle will be tan inverse of 2 by 3. So in the last semester, you have studied all this in the terms of vectors and all. Okay. Now let me explain how can you find out. So last class we have discussed the complex number, how to create a complex number. Basically the function is complex, isn't it? The function is complex. So I am creating z equal to complex of the 3, 4. Okay, I am creating a complex number using the function complex of 3, 4. If I press enter, I will get z equal to 3 plus 4i. This is in rectangular form, 3 plus 4i. This is a complex number which is represented in rectangular form. Okay, so what is the real part? How can I find the real part? If I type real of z, I will get the real part. So 3 will be my real part, and what is the imaginary part? 4 is the imaginary part. So if I type image of z, I will get the imaginary part. These things we have seen in the last class. Okay, now if you want to find out the magnitude of this particular vector, of this particular complex number, you type, if you find out the magnitude, you type ABS. Okay, ABS of z. If you want to find out the magnitude of this complex number, you type ABS of z. Okay, that will give you 5. Okay, that means you are taking square root of 3 square plus 4 square. Okay, that will be the result. That will be the magnitude root of 3 square plus 4 square. The answer will be 5. So how can you find the magnitude? You put ABS of that particular vector. I hope this is clear. And if you want to find out the angle, you type angle of z. You type angle of z. Okay, now what you are getting? The angle tan inverse y by x. Here, what is the angle? Tan inverse 4 by 3. Tan inverse 4 divided by 3. Tan inverse of 4 by 3. You can check the answer. It will be 0.927. And here the answer will be in not in degrees, in radians. Please remember that the angle function or the angle in MATLAB will give you the result in radians, not in degrees. Okay, so this much radians. If you want to convert this into degrees, you need to multiply this factor with 180 by pi, isn't it? So if you 0.92 or I am angle is equal to m equal to angle of z. Okay, this is my angle in radians. Now this is my angle in radians, and I want to get in 180 divided by pi. Okay, just to convert it into degrees. So this much degree, 53 degree will be equal to 0.9273 radians. I hope this is clear. If you want to convert it into degree, you just multiply this with 180 divided by pi. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now another thing I want to make you clear is that there are two representations form for this complex number. One is rectangular form. Just you type 3 plus 2i. Okay. Just you type 3 plus 4i. 3 plus 4i is in rectangular form representation. Okay. Another polar form is there for representing a complex number. If you type exp of 3 into, you type exp of 3 into I. Or, sorry, 3 into j. You type it as j, not as I. Okay. You type in MATLAB, you type it as I, not as j. Okay. So exp means exponential. Exp stands for exponential or e raised to. Okay. E to the power. Okay. E raised to 3 into j. That is the meaning of this. Exp of 3 into j means e raised to 3 into j. That is the meaning. Okay, e raised to 3 into j. How can I represent exp of 3 into j? If you press enter, you will be getting a complex number. See, my answer is a complex number. That complex number is represented as in a rectangular form. This is in rectangular form, and this is actually a complex number which is represented as in polar form. Okay, so this is the complex exponential form. This is the complex exponential form, or you call it as a polar form, and this is in rectangular form. Okay, this is the complex exponential form. Okay, exp of 3 into j. Okay, when I type exp of 3 into j, you just press enter, you will be getting rectangular form of exp of 3 into j. Okay, now what is this magnitude of exp of 3 into j? Here it is actually 1 into exp, isn't it? 1 into exp of 3 into j. So what is the magnitude of this vector? The magnitude of the vector will be 1. Okay, here actually it is 1 into exp of 3 into j. So the magnitude of the vector will be 1. So here you just type ABS of so I type z equal to exp of 3 times j. Okay, now my z is clear. Now if I want to type, find out the magnitude ABS of z. Okay, what you got, the magnitude as ABS will give you the magnitude. The magnitude will be 1. Okay, if you type the angle, to find out the angle, what will be the angle of this particular polar form? This angle will be 3. Okay, this is polar form representation. The angle will be 3. Okay, just to type angle of z. You will be getting the answer as 3. Okay, the angle of z vector will give you the result as 3. Okay, and this 3 will be in radians. Please note that this 3 will be in radians, and if you want, you can convert. Okay, say for example, z equal to 3 times exp of, or 2 times exp of 3 into j. Okay, this will be your representation in rectangular form, and what will be my magnitude? ABS of z. What will be my magnitude? 2 will be my magnitude. 2 will be my magnitude. So the magnitude will be 2, because 2 into exp of. And what will be my angle? The angle will be 3. Okay, you can do this. The angle of z will be 3. I hope this is clear. Now, if you want to find out the real part of z, you will get that. Minus 1.98. That is the real part of this. This is the real part. Minus 1.98 will be the real part, and imaginary part you type IMAG. That will give you the imaginary part also. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now, we will familiarize with one more function, sinc function. Okay, sinc function, sinc, sinc. Okay, sinc x is equal to sine of pi x by x. Sinc x will be equal to sine of pi into x divided by pi x. Okay, this sinc function is mainly used in digital signal processing. That DSP stands for digital signal processing, that you will learn more about DSP and signal applications in your 5th semester. So 5th semester you are dealing with a paper called digital signal processing. There you will apply all these things. Sinc, SINC. Sinc stands for, it's a signal that is used to reconstruct our signals. Okay, it's used for reconstruction purpose. Okay, so sinc x equal to sine of pi x divided by pi x, or sine theta by theta. That is sinc. Okay, then in DSP and all, this value is normalized. So sine of pi x divided by pi x will be your sinc of x. and at where x not equal to 0. Here x is not equal to 0. And in the case when x equal to 0, this will be sine 0 by 0. So you are going for a limiting value, isn't it? Limit x tends to 0, sine theta by theta will give you the answer as 1. So for x not equal to 0, what will be sinh x? Sinh x will be sine pi x by pi x. Okay. Otherwise, for x equal to 0, the value will be 1. So always at x equal to 0, the value of sinh function will be 1. And at x not equal to 0, the value of sinh will be sine pi x by pi x. I hope this is clear. Okay, now just make you plot sinh function. You just proceed with x. X you can define anything. Okay, I am defining as minus 5 to 5. What is the meaning? Minus 5 is the initial value, 5 is the final value, increment point not 1. Okay, just I am defining my y equal to sinh of x. You just plot it, plot of x comma y. Okay, we will see what happens. Okay, you will get the sinh function like this. Okay, you can just type this code and you can check whether you are getting a sinh function like this. So this is the sinh function. At x equal to 0, you will be getting 1. At x equal to 0, you will be getting the value as 1. Here you can see the y-axis, the y value will be 1 at x equal to 0. All other you have sine pi x by pi x. I hope this is clear. Okay, next you can plot an exponential signal. So all these are very fundamental things in MATLAB. So here you can type t equal to 0 colon 0.001 colon 1. So this is a t vector and I am dealing with e raised to. How can you deal with e raised to? E raised to is actually in MATLAB it is exp. Exp of minus 5 into t. That means e raised to minus 5t. Okay, e raised to minus 5t. That is the meaning of this exp of minus 5 into t. E raised to minus 5 into t. T vector already I have defined. You can define your own t vectors. Okay, now plot of t comma y. This need not be t. Okay, it can be m or n or any variable. Okay, now you type plot of t comma y, where t is the x-axis and my y. What is y? Y is e raised to minus 5 into t. So I am plotting y against t. I am plotting y against t. So if I am plotting this, I will get an exponential waveform. See here, I got an exponential waveform. This is an exponential. It means decreasing exponential. You can see that this is a decreasing exponential waveform. Decreasing exponential waveform. How can you plot an increasing exponential? Here the values are decreasing, isn't it? Okay. How can you plot an increasing exponential? If you plot an increasing exponential, you will be getting, sorry. If you plot an increasing exponential, just exp of 5 into t. Exp of 5 into t. That means growing exponential. Growing exponential. So here you can see that you got a growing exponential waveform. So this is an exponential curve which is values are growing. Okay, I hope this is clear. So e raised to minus 5t will be decreasing and e raised to 5t will be increasing. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now, one more example I want to discuss with you, that is just to create a circle. This is a very interesting thing. If you want to just create a circle in MATLAB, you can just go for this. Okay, so t equal to minus 3 colon 0.01 colon 3. That is, I have defined my t. You can define your own t. Okay, minus 3 is the initial value, 0.01 is the increment, 3 is the final value of t. Now I am finding sine of t. Sine of t will be for every value of t, it will be finding sine value, isn't it? So you will be assigning it as y. Then you find cos of t. What is cos of t? For every value of t, it is finding the cosine value. It is finding the cosine value, so you just make it as x. Now you plot cos versus sine. If you plot as x-axis cosine and y-axis sine, just plot x. What is x? Cosine. And what is y? Y is actually sine. If you plot sine against cos, you will get a circle. See, you got a circle here. If you plot cos against or sine against cos, you will be getting a circle. You can try all these things. Okay. Just to get you a circle. Because for every value, if you are plotting sine 0, 0, then sine pi by 2, 1, cos 90, 0. So everything you will be getting zeros and ones. Okay. So it will make you a perfect circle like this. You can try this. Okay. I hope this much is clear. So we will end this.